Hey guys, Tepcocyclerepair. Today we're going to be pulling the battery out of the Energica EVA. It's a 2017 model. I'm excited about this. I've been waiting to get this done because I got to get it out of the bike so I can ship it to California, and I don't know how long that process is going to take. So one of the questions I get a lot is, what's going on? Did the battery go bad? Did it die? Did you kill it? Why are we doing the battery in this bike? This particular bike I bought crashed. So it was sitting in a yard for several months at a low state of charge, and the battery died. You got to maintain them just like anything else. So that's why we're taking it out. The second thing I want to mention is that when you're doing these things, it's a high voltage system, so make sure you have a manual, ask some questions. You can get a service manual online, and just be cautious when you're doing it because there's a lot of high voltage, and it's a high voltage system, I should say, and you're just going to be cautious when you're doing that kind of thing. So I'm going to get my tools together. It's at my buddy's shop because he's got the hoist on there so we can help pick the bike up off the battery. You'll see what I mean. So I'm going to get everything going and head over that way, guys. Let's go. All right, guys, we're at the shop just trying to figure out how to get the rear end up. And the regular swing arm bungs right here, it's kind of weird. If you look at the swing arm, it angles outward. So if you use a regular bung like this, and this was kind of tough to find one even to fit inside that hole, the lift will hit the swing arm. So we have to go with this. Now, this is a pit bull stand. It's got the rubber covers to go onto the pins that go inside. These are what we're using right now to go inside the axle. Normally they'd go underneath the swing arm, but what I did here is I just took them off and they kind of fit perfect in there, and then we got it on the stand. So I'm going to move this to where we're going to be working on it, but right now we have the wheel up in the air and it's solid, so it's a good start. Now it's got some small tabs on it here. I'm going to take these tabs off the bottom. This is for the belly pan. I'm just going to take those off so they don't get damaged while we're taking it out. Now what I did was I purchased the manual online, so I have the online manual here. I'm going to be doing this battery removal by the book, exactly how they're saying to do it. I've already taken all the plastic off, so there's a couple steps it says to remove some panels and plastic. I've already done all that. So we're going to start out with getting the bike set up, getting the hoist on it ready to go, and then we're going to start by the book, page by page. I'll go over each thing. I'll show you where it is on the bike, what we have to do to take it off, what size tool I'm using, so you guys can hear exactly what tools you're going to need, what's involved, how tight things are, how easy they are to come apart. Looking forward to it. Let's get started. So before we get started, we got to take the VCU. There's a couple things that says take off all your panels to access the battery. The VCU right here. It's just two plugs, and then there's two nuts. There's the mounting hardware. There's one right there, and another one right in. It's kind of hard to see. It's right in there. And then we're going to pull that out. So just unplug the two plugs right here, the two nuts or bolts, and then just pull it out. All right, so to take these plugs off here, there's a little tab right here. You push that tab in, and that will release it. Swing it all the way, and then it'll come out. I'm going to use my other hand, hang on. All right, so when you're pulling this out, there's a rubber bung right there in the middle. So when you pull it out, it kind of feels spring-loaded. That sits in a groove in the top of the battery. So when you take it out, it feels like it doesn't want to come out. Just work it out. And what they call the lateral stand, we got these two bolts right here. The wire comes up, and the plug is right here. Sometimes it's right below it. Just cut this tie right here, pull this out. And there's another zip tie about midway, right about there, that we're going to cut also. Get the lateral stand out of the way. All right, so we got it set up on the hoist, and we have the stand underneath it with that tire, just because the bottom of the battery is not completely flat. And looking at the manual here, here's the lift underneath it. Two caps, we can take those off. I've already taken those off and tested those. That's at 0. So we're going to move on. And this is what you're looking at underneath the caps right here. Positives on this side, negative on this side. And I'm at millivolts here, so that's basically 0. And our next step here is to isolate the battery. So we're going to take out the Allen keys that are inside of here. And then we'll take the two caps right here, and it should pull out, and we'll cover those with electrical tape so we don't have any issues. All right, so as far as sizes go, guys, this is an Allen key. This is a 12 millimeter for the top caps, and then 6 millimeter for the studs that hold on the power lines here. So let's get these off. All right, so after loosening those up inside there, I got 1 1/8 inches for these two lock nuts on here, and they're pretty loose, so we're just going to go ahead and loosen those up and then pull these cables out, isolate them with electrical tape. These are kind of stiff, but we're going to give him a pull. All right, so with these out and isolated, the next thing is a ground wire. And the ground wire is underneath here from the right side of the bike. Pull these hoses up, and that ground wire is all the way back inside of there. And it is a 5mm. See if you can see it right there. All right, so I'm going to take care of that one. Thanks, dude. The next thing is the two plugs right here underneath. They got a spin nut on the outside that's hand tight. 1, 2, and then here we're going to cut these cables off and disconnect these two plugs. Let me show you where those are at. All right, so here are the two with the nuts on the outside that we're going to go ahead and unscrew. And then the other plugs are right over there. So let's get those undone. All right, so here it's just a 1/4 inch kind of turn lock nut, and then the plug just pulls out. All right, so the next step of these two plugs right here, we got one here and one here. These are good. This is for the charger. Just pull the center tab out just like that, and then that one will release. And this is a standard plug right here. So let's get these unplugged. All right, so this is disconnected here, and then our charger cable is disconnected there. All right, so the next one's 6mm Allen right in there, and that's where that's one sitting right there. All right, then we're going to take these two out right here that mount the controller. Actually, it's mounting the bracket. We're trying to get this bracket out of the way, so we can do that next. All right, so now with these out here, we got to take this bracket, support bracket, and we're going to wiggle it and just pull it backwards. We have all the bolts out now. It's just 3 of them. So we're going to wiggle. It's tight in there, so we're going to wiggle it and just pull it out. All right, moving on. All right, the next of these two 5s, we got one back there and then one right there. All right, next step is moving this OBD2 port out of the way. We have a, this is a 4mm? Yeah, 4mm. There's 2 of them, one there and one right there. Let's get those off. All right, next is this radiator bolt right here. We're going to take this out and swing the radiator out of the way. All right, so with that out, we can swing this out of the way. Now we got to go to the other side of the bike and cut a couple ties off. All right, so just pull these out of the way. Some of them are behind here. That's why you got to disconnect these cables here so you can flex it down enough. Just be gentle with everything. They're braided lines on the front and back, so just move them out of the way enough and pull them out of the way so the battery doesn't hit them coming out. All right, next one's right here, and it's a 6mm. And this one has a nut on the other side that we have to make sure that we hold on to so it doesn't just spin. All right, so we're down to just these last ones right here. We got a nut and a pin in each one, so let's pull those out. All right, so we're down on the last 2. We have one right here between the motor and the battery, and then one in front, right behind the radiator. All right, so with the nuts off the other side, we have our one that's back inside of there, and then the other one that's right in front right here. So we're going to, I think this is where we're going to have some weight on those bolts, and we got the lift here, and we got the hoist, so we're going to work that out. Yeah, see it fell down, right? Yeah. So this little spacer fell out from between the battery and the frame. On the left-hand side. Oh, sorry, battery and engine. Or battery and, oh, battery and engine? Yeah, motor?
Yeah, motor, yeah, sorry.
Okay. There we go. We're free. Now is when we need everybody in here. Because that's everything. Time to jack it up. Just drop them. It's not going over. All right, so it is out. Wasn't too bad getting it up. Having this lift and everything made it a lot easier and possible. So there we go. All right, guys, so that's all there is to it, getting that battery out of the Energica EVA. It really wasn't that bad. If you follow the manual step by step like I did, it's going to come out easy. There's a couple of nuts and bolts that are hidden a little bit, but they're really not that bad. If you've taken an engine out of any one of these gas-powered bikes, taking that battery out is going to be easy. Anyway, guys, I hope this helps you out. Thank you for watching. Please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell for further notifications. Until next time, this is Tepcocyclerepair.